Good evening, Dhamma friends in our PRC class. Let
Evening,
us,
Bhante.
yes, let us start our class by paying respect to the Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Right. Welcome to our OPRC class, day 111. And today we are going to learn about Dhammapada stanza 93. So let us take a look at the stanza at this moment.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening. All right, 93. Yassasava parikkena aharecha anisito sunyato animito che vimokko yassa gocham akaseva sakuntanam padam tassa durannayam yassasava parikkena aharecha anisito sunyato animito che vimokko yassa gocham akaseva sakuntanam padam tassa durannayam. All right, so we will ask from groups to read. So first I would like to ask from group 1. Is there anybody who would like to read from group 1, please? Yes, Melin, please.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Yasa sava parikina ahare cha anisito sunyato animito cha vimoko yasa gocharo akaseva sakuntanang padang tasa duranayang.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And group 2? Meon, please.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Yasa sawa parikina, ahare cha anisito, sunato animito cha, vimoko yasa gocharo, akasewa sakutanam, padam tasa duranyam.
Great.
Thank you.
And group 3, Lisa, please.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Yasa sava parikina. Ahara cha anisito. Sunato
Aharecha.
ahare cha anisito. Sunato animito cha. Vimoko yasa gocharo. Akaseva sakuntanam. Padam tasa durannayam.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Group 4, Kevion, please.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Yasa sava parikina. Ahare cha anisito. Sunyato animito cha. Vimoko yasa gocharo. Aka sewa sakuntanang. Padang tasa durannaya.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And group 5? Melinda, please.
Thank you, Bhante. Yasa sawa parikina ahare che anisito. Sunyato animito che vimoko yasa gocharo. Akasewa sakuntanam padam tatsa duranayam.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
6. Sinfong, please.
Thank you, Bhante. Yasa sawa parikina. Aharecha ani sito. Sunato ani mitoche. Vimoko yasa gocharo. Akasewa sakuntanam. Padam dasa duran nayam.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And group 7. Someone from group 7. Yes, Stacy, please.
Thank you, Bhante. Yasa sawa parikina. Ahare che anisito. Sunyato animito che.
Animito.
Animito che. Vimoko yasa gocharo. Aka seva sakuntanang. Padang tasa duranayang.
Okay, great. And group 8. Last group. Yes, Doris, please.
Thank you, Bhante. Yasa seva parikina aharecha anisito sunyato animitocha vimoko yasa gocharo. Akaseva sakuntanang padam dasa duran nayang.
Okay, great.
Sorry, thank you, Bhante.
All right, so now let us invite others. Is there anybody else who would like to read out of groups? This is your opportunity. And we have a couple of newcomers today, so I think they will see what others are doing. And if they want to read, please go ahead for that. So what you need is that you just need to raise your virtual hand and I can track the ones who are doing it earlier. So first, let's start with Chupeng. Chupeng, please.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Yasa sawa parikina, ahare che anisito. Sunyato animito che, vimoko yasa gocharo. Akasewa sangkuntanang, padang tasa durang nayang.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Oiko.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Yasa sawa parikina, ahare che anisito. Sunyato animito che, vimuko yasa gocharo. Akaseva sakuntanam, padang tasa duran nayam.
Okay, great.
Thank
And
you.
Suzanne, please.
Thank you, Bhante. Yasa sava parikina aharecha anisito sunyato animito cha vimoko yasa gocharo akaseva sakuntanam padam tasa duranayam.
Great.
Thank you.
19, please.
Good evening,
Good
Bhante.
evening.
Yasa sava parikina ahare che anisito. Sunyato animito che vimoko yasa gocharo. Akaseva sakuntanang padang tasa duranayang.
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 Yeah. Okay. Great. And Kate, please.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Yasa sawa parikina, ahare che anisito, sunyato animito che, vimoko yasa gocharo, akaseva sakuntanang, padang tasa duran nayang.
Great, great. And Cyril, please.
Sugihotu Bhante.
Ihotu. Yes.
Yasa, sorry again. Yasa seva parikina ahare che anisito. Sunyato animito che vimoko yasa gocharo. Akasewa sakuntanang padam tasa duran na yang.
Okay, great.
Thank
And Patpuna,
Good evening, Bhante.
good evening.
Yasa sawa parikina, aharecha anisito, sunyato animito cha, vimoko yasa gocharo, aka sewa sakuntanam, padam tasa duranayam.
Okay, great. And Secha,
Good evening, Bhante.
good evening.
Okay, yasa sawa parikina, aharecha anisito, sunyato animito cha, vimoko yasa gocharo, akka sewa sakuntanam, padam tasa duran nayam.
Okay, great. And
Thank you.
Jenny, please.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Yasa seva parikina, ahare cha anisito, sunyato animito cha, vimoko yasa gocharo, aka seva sakuntanang, padang tasa duran nayang.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And Cindy, you.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Yasa Sava Parikina.
Yasa seva, that is one word. Yasa seva parikina.
Yasa Sava Parikina. Aharicha Anisito. Sunyato Ani Mitocha. Vimoko Yasa Gocharo. Akasewa Sakuntanam. Padam Tasa Duranayam.
Okay, great. And Corina.
Evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Yasa sawa parikina aharacha anisito. Aharicha anisito. Sunanto animito cha vinoko pasagocharo. Aka sewa sakutanam padam tasa durayanam. Durayayam. Nayam.
Just take some sort of time. Duranayam.
Padam tasa duranyayam.
If it is difficult, don't try to pronounce it right away. To make it as two words. I mean, you make a pause there. It's a one word, but you make it a pause. Duranayam.
Duranayam. Okay, I
Yes,
try.
that's easier. Easier than trying to pronounce it in one
Padam
word.
tasa durayanam.
Duranayam.
Duranayam. Padam tasa duranyanam. Yeah.
Yes, great. Much better.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Pallavi, please.
वंदामी बनते यस्य आसव परिखिण्णा आहारे च अनिश्चितो सुयतो अनिमित्तो च विमुखो यस्य गोचरो आकाशेव सकुन्तानं पदं तस्य दुरन्नयम्.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And Ochuma, please.
Good evening. Thank you, Bhante. Yasa sewa parikina ahare cha anisito. Sunyato animito cha vimoko yasa gocharo. Aka sewa sakuntanang padang tasa durana yang.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Chan, please.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Okay. Yasa Sava Parikina Aharecha Anisito. Sunato animito cha vimoko yasa gocharo. Aka seva sakuntanam padam tasa duranayam.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Champakla. Yes.
Thank you, Bhante. Yasa sawa parikina. Ahare cha anisito. Sunyato animito cha vimoko yasa gocharo. Akaseva sakuntanam. Padam tasa duranayam.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Pali, please.
Thank you, Bhante. Yasa sawa parikina ahari cha anisito. Sunyato animito cha vimoko yasa gocharo. Aka seva sakuntanang padang tasa duranayam. Duranayam.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And Hema, please.
Thank you, Bhante. Yasa sawa parikina. Ahari cha anisito. Sunyato animito cha vimoko yasa goscharo. Aka seva sakutanam padam tasa duranayam.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Thank you, Bhante.
All right. So, may I ask anyone who joined today for the first time, would you like to try? Let's see. If you would like to try, please raise your virtual hand. I'm not going to pick on anybody. Yes, Naichu, please. Oh, yes, Wei Lang. Yes, you can try. First, we will ask from Lai Chu King. Yes. Please unmute and read.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Yasa asawa palikina. Ahare cha anisito. Sunato animito cha. Vimoko yasa kotaro. Akaseva sakutanam. Batam tasa turanayam.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And Wei Lang, please.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Yasa sava parikina. Ahare cha anisito. Sunyato animito cha. Vimoko yasa gocharo. Akaseva sakutanang. Padang tasa turanayang.
Okay, great. Yes. All right. They also recited. Good. And if there's anyone else who would like to read. Okay, if not, let us move on to the lesson today because we have a lot to talk today. All right, so you can see here, this stanza shows some parallel lines, just like the last one, right? Especially this part, Sunyato, and up until this, there are some parallel, similar Pali lines. But here, it starts from something little different. Yasasava parikena aharecha anisito sunyato animitocha vimokko yasa gocharo akaseva sakuntana padantasa durannaya. Once again, this particular stanza that comes under Arahantavaka shows us some salient, some very distinct characteristics of Arahants. I think this is not even going to be common to Arahants. I mean, we can learn a lot about how that life and of somebody who is enlightened. So today's story is going around Venerable Arahan Anuruddha. Okay, so we will get to the story after that. But we have to kind of unpack some of the very interesting Dhamma matters. Huh? Let's take a look at this part. And I have added some information in the bottom. You can see here, note for context, asava, what is asava, how many asava, how to overcome through Sabbasava Sutta, and at the end, how many ahara for ahara. And sutta has been hyperlinked here. Click on that, it will take you to sutta as well. So let's go back. Yassa asava parikkina. There's a grammatical something to learn here. That's why I said when you pronounce as one word, yassasava. Why is it? It is combined. We call it a sandhi in Pali. Yassasava. That means yassa means for whom. Asava parikkina. Asava. This is a very important word here. Asava. So there are a couple translations. Fermentations, influxes, taints. Parikina means exhausters. Now, may I ask you, what have you learned about asava before? If you have come to one of our sutta discussions in any place online or maybe in person, we have discussed a sutta called Sabbasava Sutta long time ago. Especially in two of the sutta discussions I have done, one for Tiaru Sutta discussion and then Buddhist Mahavihara. I think long time ago, I have dealt with asava. And we have discussed asava at different times. But today, we have an opportunity to unpack again, especially with our new Dhamma friends too. Asava. Asava means the earliest the earliest stage of our akusala, if we put it simply. We have akusala, right? Time to time, depending on how we manage them. Lobha, dosa, moha are the akusala roots, akusala mula, right? Maybe if you kind of concerned about it, lobha, greed, dosa, hatred, moha, very, very basic Dhamma matters, but I wanted to say something after that, delusion. So what are they called? They are called three akusala roots. In Pali, akusala mula. Okay, these are the akusala mula, three akusala roots. On the other hand, kusala roots. Now, when the akusalas are fermenting, when the akusalas are discharging, right? If it is a root, that should have some discharge time to time. So when the akusalas are discharging, what are coming out? What are coming out are asava. Asavas are coming out, right? Normally in Indian culture, they use it for fruits. They say fruit asava. Like when a fruit is blended, when a fruit is kind of squeezed, then a discharge is coming out. Fluid. So that fluid could be the essence of the fruit. They call it pala asava. So if akusala roots are the roots, if you take it as a fruit, if you squeeze it, if you blend it, if you try to squeeze your akusala, what is coming out is asava. So, when you see when you're going to have a drink like a juice, right? You can have it with juice without pulp and juice with pulp, right? Some people like to go for juice with pulp. They want to see that. They want to feel it. In the same way, the essence of akusala is asava. If it is the essence, then we have to be kind of careful about it because that is the essence, right? When it comes to the good side, you don't like throwing it out, right? Oh, this is the essence. Don't throw it out, right? I want to drink it, right? On the other hand. So in the same way, asavas mean the essence of akusala. That means Asavas are discharged in time. Sorry, akusalas are discharged in time to time, depending on how we take care of our thoughts. So whenever akusalas are discharging, what is discharging is asavas. So there are 4 asavas mainly. Normally, Sabbasava Sutta talks about 3 asavas. Okay, there's one more asava is coming up in other suttas. But normally we take asavas to be 4, not 3. Kamasava, Bhavasava, Ditthasava, Avijjasava. Now the stanza, the verse teaches us that Arahants have exhausted their asavas. Now you may not understand what they have exhausted, right? So that's why we have to go and learn what they have exhausted by the term of asavas. These are also English translations that we can see: taints, influxes, fermentations, right? If you take fermentation, you know what is fermentation, right? When something is keeping for some time, then depending on the situation, it can become fermented. When we are living longer and longer, our akusalas will be fermented, right? Now, when you ferment something overnight, right? Let's say you want to have you want to make a bread like in the old style, in an old style bakery, not like through a good machine, right? They are going to uh, make it overnight, so that the acid level will not be very much high when people are eating that, right? Nowadays it's very quick, right? They make breads right away, so people are eating. People are going through some issues, but long time ago they are making overnight. So the thing is that when we are living longer, it is a good thing if we can live longer for Dhamma practice. As we live longer, our akusalas are also going to be fermented. Now you think about when you were small, when you were a teenager, think about your hatred at that time. You are angry at another teenager, your friend, and that anger and the anger that you may go through nowadays with somebody else. Do you see some differences with that anger? Now, as you grow, as you live longer, your akusalas are also going to be much more complicated, right? Maybe when you were small, when you were in 20s, when it comes to jealousy, it was just a moment of time. Okay, I don't have something that the other person may have. But then when you were becoming older, when you don't have too many opportunities, you have no way out, you have not so many other ways to explore, then you will bring a lot of other ways to understand your jealousy. I mean, you don't understand. You will more complicate your jealousy. But when you were in 20s, as a teenager, it was a moment of frustration. How come? How come? But as you grow, it will become more complicated. That is what asavas are doing. Like as we live with our akusalas longer and longer, and asavas have a better opportunity to, or they have better opportunities to become more proliferated. And there's a Pali word for the papancha, that's the highest level of this akusala formation. So akusala will be proliferated, but to go to proliferation, you need asavas. Actually, if you read about Madhupindika Sutta, Sabbasava Sutta, and Majjhima Nikaya, you will see the process. So what we need to understand is that a better management with regard to our asavas will help us at least to become better individuals to tackle our akusala discharge. That's what we are doing now. We want to learn what they are initially. Let's scroll down a little bit to see the asavas. Okay. In early Buddhism, asavas are deep-rooted mental tendencies that flow on. This could be a little bit, I would say, little bit, how to say, complicated term, because we have another word for tendencies. What do you call that? Anusaya, right? In Pali, latent tendencies. But we will use it. In early Buddhism, asavas are deep-rooted flows, influxes, fermentations, condition repeated suffering and sustain samsara. The Buddha identifies four asavas. Kama asava, fermentation of sense desire. Bhava asava, fermentation or influxes of desire for continual existence, craving to be, to continue, to exist in refined or gross forms of become. Ditta asava, fermentation of wrong views, fixed, distorted views about self, world, permanence, liberation, very polarized, very polarized views. And avidya, fermentation of ignorance. This is something that is happening with all these akusalas, not understanding the Four Noble Truths, Patisamuppada, and Yatharbhuta Jnanadasa, nature of phenomena. So now we understand these are the four things that are discharging time to time in our sensory experience in the form of living in this samsara. So these are being discharged. And then when they are being discharged, what will happen to us is that we are forming akusala, kilesa, upakilesa, kilesa, then papancha. This is a process. So arahants, they have already got rid of these four. This is what the stanza is teaching us. Now, if you learn more about Sabbasa Sutta, as you can see, Sabbasa Sutta Majjhima Nikaya 2nd teaches us that there are 7 methods which the Buddha guides us to overcome these asavas. Even in our daily life, you don't have to be an arahant, right? Sometimes you might think that no, these might be irrelevant to us, so they are out of our process. No, we also can use them whenever it is possible. Now, say for instance, let us take the first one, dasana pahatapa, right? Fermentations to be, asavas to be eradicated by right understanding, right? So through the right understanding, we can overcome a lot of asavas. Now think about ditta asava. If we can think about what are our views time to time, right? Are our views going on certain political views too strongly? Are we trying to condemn other people? Are we trying to argue? Are we trying to take other views so seriously, so personally? Why is it? It is because we have already been infected with dictatorship. Right? You can have your own political views, but not to condemn others. Right? Also not to take you seriously. Be in the middle in your political, geopolitical views, economical views, social views, cultural views. Even you talk about Buddhism, be in the middle. Don't be too extreme on anything. Right? So that's what the Buddha is trying to teach us, right? So here, the first method that someone can use to eradicate asavas, this could be an enlightenment as well, is to see the right understanding, dasana pahatabba. And samvara, by being able to take care of your senses, right? Guarding your eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, mind, all these 6 senses, right? When you do that, we can also take care of our asavas. You can make an impact on asavas, right? Sometimes people think that asavas are impacting us. No, you also can impact asavas if you can take care of your ears and all these senses, right? Make an impact. Be an impact on asavas. Third, sometimes you can also use wise reflection of your daily requisites: food, clothing, shelter, medicine. Actually, these are the things that complicate people a lot, letting people crave and be proud and so indulge in those requisites. Whenever we use food, whenever we use clothing, whenever you are living in a place which you own, whenever you are using medicine, you can use them without being obsessed with the level of your happiness in that comfort, right? Always make them as requisites, needs, not that you are using to crave more, not that you are using them to put other people down. I'm much better than other people, more than other people, or maybe to create some other kind of akusala. Even the daily requisites that we are having can be used to overcome ourselves. That's the third one. Fourth one, patience, tolerance, adivasana. Now here the sutta talks about heat, cold, hunger, thirst, harsh speech, pain, discomfort, right? I think this is a very important thing, right? Sometimes we lose enlightenment many times in our daily life, right? Due to very minor stuff, hunger, thirst. Why do I say we miss the enlightenment? We are on the verge of becoming enlightened. Suddenly I become hungry. What to do? Huh? Now hungry. Now I have to order something. Or maybe put blame on other people. Why did you not order before me? Right? Why are the food cold now? You better go and heat them up. Right? I was on the verge of something becoming insightful, but hunger took my enlightenment away. And thirst. And what else? So many things that we are juggling on a daily basis can take your enlightenment, your peace away. But you don't know. You think you should. You should put blame on others. You should complain. Right? So, how many times we have missed out on those good moments? So the Buddha is saying, even patience alone can give you the enlightenment. Patience alone. Patience is not one small modern virtue in our daily life. You might think that, okay, why to be patient? You have done so many bad things to me. But that is not the thing. If you are really working on that, there would be more peace that would come to us. Not because of the other people, but because of the strength and the power of that patience. Okay? And then parivajjana, avoid. Sometimes we have to avoid certain situations. Harmful environments, unwise companionship, dangerous temptations. Should we? Should we? Do you want to take a challenge for environment issues? Maybe papamitta, ignoble friends. What did the Buddha teach us in the Mahamangala Sutta? The first mangala in our life, blessing in our life, is asevanacha balanang Panditanancha sevana, first and second. The Buddha said, out of all the blessings that we can earn in our life, two take precedence, two take the prioritized places. Number one is avoiding bala. How to avoid bala? Can you think about, oh, you are a bala, don't come near me, I know you are bala. Just go away. Is that the way? No, that's pretty bad. That shows you have no metta. That means something has worked out in a very bad way. We should have metta for everybody. But when we spend time with others, we know there are other people. They are not kalyanas. They are not panditas. So what we need to do, we just still say hi and bye, but we cannot associate them. Now you define the association. I don't know, in your context, how association works. I want to do coffee with you. I want to talk to you. I want to see you. Or you just try to cut down on unnecessary levels of association, right? The Buddha said that's the first blessing in our life. Second blessing, when you avoid those unwise beings in that way, you should look for wise beings. May I know who are the wise beings? Kalyana Mittas? Now you cannot just nod your head or maybe just look away because you have studied Digajanu Sutta. right? Digajanu Sutta in Anguttara Nikaya, where Buddha talks about who is a Kalyana Mitta. Kalyana Mittas are those who have more saddha, trust about Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. You cannot fool them around. They are very strong in their saddha. They have a very unshaken trust about Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. They are very strong in their saddha. Second, sila, their morality is very unshaken. They are not breaking their precepts. They are very disciplined. And chaga, they are always generous. Not only the day that they are giving dana to the temple. They are always generous. Anytime, time, knowledge, if they can give material things, they are very generous. They are maintaining generosity 24, 365. That kind of people. There are some people who give dana once a month, and other 29 days, they don't have that urge to give generosity. I'm not saying go and then offer dana to all these temples. It's not practical, right? I'm saying the generous thought. Are you active in your generous thought? Or does generous thought only come to you on a particular day? Right? And you are very much passive. You have a passive generosity on all 29 days. Right? I think this is not a good thing, right? So that's why the Buddha said, Kalyana Mitta's third quality to recognize is Kalyana Mitta has more generosity. Today we are learning a lot of things about dana, a lot of things with this story. And the fourth thing is Kalyana Mitta has panya, wisdom. What is wisdom to a Kalyana Mitta? Kalyana Mittas are always trying to overcome Abhijja, Visama, Lobha, two types of greed, Vyapada, ill will, then Thinamidda, sloth and torpor, laziness of mind and body, Uddhacha, Kukucha, restlessness of the mind and worry, regret, and then Vichikiccha, spiritual doubts. They are always working on removing, lowering, minimizing these hindrances. The more they are doing, the wiser they are. So then, when I understand that they are doing that, why not I be affected by good people? Because we are always affected by people who should not affect us, right? By default. So that's why the Buddha says that it's very important to be in the wise association. That's why always at the end of our any activity, we are making our aspiration. Imina punya kammena ma me bala sama. May I never ever associate balas. Satang samagamu. Satang means kalyana mittas, sappurisas, panditas. May kalyana mittas come to me. They don't come to you normally. You have to make them. You have to make it happen in your Dhamma way. Yeah, Yava Nibbana Pattiya, until I attain Nibbana, right? Okay, so then some of the asavas only can be overcome when you avoid certain individuals and certain environments. What are the environments here? Let us take a look. Harmful environments, right? Normally, if I'm not mistaken, Sabbasava Sutta, we will have time to go to Sabbasava Sutta, you can click on that in the notes. Sabbasava Sutta says, but at that time, monks did not use carts to go, right? They were walking all the time. So they were asked by the Buddha to avoid some of the roads where there are prickly herbs. Maybe certain steepy places which they cannot have any traction to walk. They might fall down, right? It's like the old story, monks went for Pindapata in the evening, and there were no asphalted roads at that time. And they went to the back door of the house lady thought it's a ghost, and they threw the, leftover water into the monk. And sometimes they were bitten by the snakes on the road, right? There were no proper roads at that time. The Buddha said, you better be in the temple and do something like cultivation, right? So the Buddha asked Sangha members not to go on certain roads where you have some peril, some danger, especially snakes, some of the dogs, maybe pricky herbs. You have to, maybe steepy places where you don't have any traction. This is what it's meant by environmental dangers, right? It is also that say for instance, we look at it in a very simple way. You are going for camping and you are not sure about where you are walking, and you are going to walk on very pricky, thorny herbs. The moment that you are affected, you are pricked by the thorny things, what would the feeling? Would you have any akusala in your thoughts? The pain that the pricky herbs give you, would that happen to you? When the pain comes to you, are you happily looking at it? Oh, that was just a thorny herb. Oh, it's painful. That feeling, it's painful feeling. That could be a moment of hatred, dosa. That's why Buddha says sometimes don't wait akusalas come to you. You have to clear akusala spots. Okay. These are akusala spots. I mean, when you meet these akusala spots, definitely you are affected by akusalas. That's why the Buddha teaches us akusalas are not something to be handled when akusalas come to you. That is another level of handling akusala. In order for you to properly deal with akusala, you have to prepare yourself. Preventing akusala is better than handling akusalas later on. Right? So then we are now talking about a preventative akusala strategy. Just like in the medical science, preventative health. That's much more important, right? Talking about well-being, food, diet, exercise, right? So how many sicknesses we can get rid of in that preventative health? So here, Buddha is asking us to avoid certain individual, certain animals, certain environment, certain physical environments to overcome akusalas in the form of asavas beforehand. So try to be mindful about akusala spots. Sometimes they are akusala hotspots. Akusala hotspot there. When you go there, definitely more akusalas are looming around and you are going to be definitely part of it. Okay, so that is number 5. 5th way. 6th way, vinodana. Vinodana means, that means there are some situations where you need to overcome asavas by removing akusala thoughts. Definitely, through right effort, you can see replacing, reflecting, redirecting. And the 7th way is bhavana. Bhavana means cultivating your thoughts, right? Now, may I ask you, what do you normally pick up out of these 7? When it comes to akusala, what do you usually pick up out of these 7? You are normally picking up only the 7th one, last one only. So you are missing out on the rest of the 6 steps, 6 matters which the Buddha asks us to deal with asavas earlier. Okay. So asavas is a very important topic. I think one of the very important topics with regard to akusala. All right. So let us go back here to the verse now. Yasasava parikina. Now arahants have already removed or eradicated or they have exhausted their asavas. No any akusala discharge in the form of asavas will happen. Second, ahare cha anisito. Nisito, anisito. The difference, nisito means dependence. Anisito means non-dependence. So arahants do not depend on the food, ahara. Normally Pali translations, this Pali word has been translated by many as nutriment. And we would say food. We can say food as well. So they are not dependent on food. Are we dependent on food?
Yes.
We are highly dependent on food, right? So many quarrels happen, in many places because of the food choices, preferences, where to go, what to eat, right? Not being able to find out the places, right? And the frequency of the food, right? Compulsive eating habits. Ordinary people have 1,000 problems with food habits, and food preferences. And finally, they are messing up with a lot of problems too, health problems and many other problems. But arahants, they don't depend on food. If you offer food, they will eat. If you don't offer food, they will also eat. They have no problem. They are not having any lobha, greed, or hatred. But let us take a look at about the Buddhist analysis about ahara. Let's take a look. Scroll down slowly. It's here. Ahara, nutriment, or maybe food. There are 4 types of ahara. If you click on this one, Ahara Sutta, SN 12.11. The Buddha teaches that existence and experience continue because they are fed. I mean, we are fed because of them. There are 4 kinds of ahara. Kabalikara hara, which is olarika, rough, sukumo, soft. Passo dutiyo, second. Mano sanchetana, and fourth vijnana. Let's take a look. Kabalikara ahara, edible food, eatables. Gross, subtle, physical food. May I know who are eating Kabalikara ahara, edible food? In Buddhism, we know there are 31 places of realms, right? There are 31 realms. Out of these 31 realms, who are eating the edible food, Kabalikara ahara? Humans, right? Humans and animals, right? How about Deva, Brahma? What are they eating? They are not eating this food. If they eat, they have to become a human. That's why they say, depending on the food and beverage someone is eating, the amount of physical, the amount of akusalas also work. Because when you eat very rough food, solid food, because of the power of those solid food, you have to naturally act on those food, right? Now think about Mahayana teaching. In Mahayana, modern Mahayana, time, Mahayana culture does not provide onions and garlic. Is it? Why is it? Why they are not eating garlic and onion? What's the reason? May I know? We are not trying to criticize anybody. It's a Buddhist tradition. We are trying to see what is that. Why they are not eating onion and garlic?
Increase
The
the
smell.
sexual desire.
Sexual desire.
Yeah.
Yes. Not desire, sexual desire. Right? They are saying when you eat garlic and then onion, sexual desire is aroused. But in early Buddhism, we don't see that. We only see the Buddha says you cannot control food and look for the desires. You eat ethical food, ethically. When it comes to sexual desire, anger, hatred, and some other mental negativities, you have to work with thoughts or maybe your feelings, right? That is the way. So anyways, in that Mahayana belief, what we understand is that they believe that whatever the food you are eating can have an impact on your inner life, your mindset, your spiritual life. That's what they are saying. The vegetarianism is also part of it, right? This is also part of it. That is what they are talking about. And there are some other cultures which are talking in the same way. But Kabalikara ahara is mainly consumed by humans and animals. Okay. So we are having that first kind of food in this Ahara Sutta. First ahara. Second ahara, pasahara. Pasa means sense contact. Do we consume this food also in our daily life?
Yes.
Even now? Can we live without pasahara?
No.
Pasa means contact. Contact means now I'm seeing you through Zoom. My eyes and you are my sight. What should happen to the external side that I'm seeing with you? This side should impede my eyes. The moment the external side impedes my eyes, there's a contact that moment, and that contact is pasahara. So can you live without seeing other things? Can you live without hearing sounds? Can you live without smelling, eating food, touching, and thoughts? You cannot. But there are people who are physically disabled already. They cannot see, they are blind people. Sometimes there are people who cannot hear. But there is something that is working more than that disabled part, right? But it is not easy, it is not possible for someone to become what you call dysfunctional with regard to all the sense faculties and to live, right? So that's why the Buddha is saying we all are consuming the second ahara also, pasahara, contact, as a food. And third one, mano sanchetana. Sanchetana, you know this Pali word, chetana, volition. Then mano sanchetana means volition generated karma. That means, what is that? Karma. Can we live without karma?
No.
Possible, very nice. Without karma means we are arahants already. We are enlightened. But still, until to the point of being an enlightened person, karmas are happening all the time. What to do, right? Right? Somebody might not be happy, but what to do? No choice. The only choice is to make the way to the enlightenment, slowly or gradually. Mano Sanchetana means any moment that you are using that a volition is taking place, intentional activities taking place, you are creating third kind of food. So is it happening now? Yes, this is actively happening now, not passively. You are making good karma, listening to Dhamma, and then trying to think, how can I practice in my daily life after this, right? Thinking, reflecting, contemplating, planning, all are intentional actions, so volition. So third, food is also being used by you. Last one, vijnanaha. Vijnanaha means consciousness. Vijnana, consciousness. Can we live without consciousness?
No.
We cannot live without consciousness. It's a very basic point, right? Now, what is consciousness here? It's called vijnana. Vijnana has couple stages. What is the vijnana we carried forward from the last life?
Rebirth linking consciousness.
There is no particular Pali word that we have, but Abhidhamma tradition, Pali commentary, they are saying Bhavanga Vijnana and all that. And Yogachara philosophy in Mahayana, they are saying Ale Vijnana, root consciousness. But in Pali, in early Buddhism, the Buddha only used a generic term called Vijnana. What we carried forward from last life is also Vijnana. What we are having is also now Vijnana. What is going out also is Vijnana. But these are different Vijnanas. So the one that came from last life has embedded into the mind. And then there are flashbacks happening through 6 Vijnanas. Sensory consciousnesses, eye consciousness, ear consciousness. They are not that consciousness. They are coming out of that base consciousness, the main one that came from the last life. That's why you don't see it. So all the Vijnanas that are pertain to sensory consciousnesses are arising from the main consciousness that came from the last life. So eye consciousness, Chakku Vijnana, ear consciousness, Sota Vijnana, then nose consciousness, Gana Vijnana, Jivha Vijnana means what do you call tongue consciousness, And then what's the other one? Chakku Sota Gana Yuha Kaya. Kaya Vinyana, that means body consciousness. And last one is Mano Vinyana, mind consciousness. Mind also has a consciousness. Very interesting, right? Mind also has a consciousness. So these Vinyanas consciousness are arising from that main one. Then when the main one is finished, left, they also die. They also starting from the new body. So the Buddha is saying that without these sensory perceptions, we cannot live. We need sensory consciousnesses. We cannot live without sensory consciousness. So now, what I'm trying to tell you is that ordinary people, they are highly, highly depending on these 4 types of food. Okay? But not enlightened people. If they lose normal food, if they lose contact, if they lose, they don't have karma, definitely no problem. And the 4th one, they have no problem with the vinyana. No vinyana is going after. So they are so happy people. They are the happiest people in that sense. So here, in this story, they don't depend on that. Those are the 4 aharas. So for whom the asavas are completely exhausted and who are not depending on the nutriment ahara, any type of 4 aharas, and their nibbana has emptiness nature, signless nature, which we discussed last time, and their domain, the nibbana's range is about sunyata, empty, and signless. Their journey is like birds. Do birds leave any footprints in the sky? Or there is no trace whatsoever in the sky. Padantassa duranya. Nothing can be traced. Right? Normally, when we are walking somewhere, we are leaving a lot of footprints. But their spiritual journey has no footprints. Right? This is abstract. Why? There's no footprint left by the enlightened persons. All right. So this is the stanza. So what I want to tell you is that the nature of arahants can be understood from this stanza too, and it is said that they have eradicated, overcome all the asavas, those 4 asavas, and they are not depending on any food. They are very happy people. Versus us, we are depending on the food, and we are highly crushed by asavas. So we have a responsibility, spiritual responsibility to minimize our service, not to depend on food. We need food, but not to be dependent on these food. All right. So what is the story of this stanza? Is Venerable Anuruddha. Okay, let's go and see. Venerable Anuruddha story. I put the topic to be contentment without complaint. Why is it? It's something about Venerable Arahant Anuruddha's life and what happened. This photo and the story, but I will share it to the story. The Pali term Anuruddha means, Ruddha means obstructed, or maybe I could say affected by something. But Anuruddha, unobstructed in his path. So Venerable Arahant Anuruddha was the first cousin of the Buddha. So he's a family member in a sense. His father was King Amitodana, and who has a relationship definitely has a sibling relationship to Suddhodana, King Suddhodana to the Buddha. So what happened at a certain point, Venerable Anuruddha, young man Anuruddha, with Ananda, Bhagu, Kimbila, Devadatta, and Badu Pali, they all went to the Buddha. They all were able to obtain the bhikkhu life. Okay? They all were ordained by the Buddha. So in the story, in this particular story, what was happening is that there was a time when the Buddha was living in Jetarama that Venerable Anuruddha noticed that his robe is already worn out, is already very old. So he wants to find a way to make a robe. So we understand in today's world there are so many devotees to make robes. But at that time, it was not the situation because monks, they went in their own search to find certain clothings, and then sometimes they went to the cemetery, right? There were things happen like that. So what happened? Now, Venerable Arahant Anuruddha thought, I would go for certain places, maybe rubbish places in today's world. It could be a rubbish can. It might be some rubbish places, garbage places, where I can find some leftover clothings. Okay, now this was his thought. When he had this thought, what happened was that his wife in the third life before he became Anuruddha. Okay, that means not the first, second, third. She was a deva in the Tavatinsa. Her name is Jalini. Okay. Jalini. So this wife, she felt it. And then she thought, I would support him. Now think about, the relationships are not going to be finished easily. Even they have gone on their different ways. They are communicating in different ways. Now he's an Arahant. She's a deva, female deva in the Tavatinsa. And she felt, if I bring a very expensive robe, he will not accept it. So, also if I bring certain divine clothings and then left in a sense of robe, he also might not accept that. So what I can do is that I'm going to bring a certain three types of divine clothings that are, I think, 13 cubits wide and 4 cubits, no, 13 cubits long and 3 cubits wide, 3 pieces of clothing, and then I'm going to leave them in the places where Arahant Anuruddha is looking for those clothing. So he might not suspect, he might use them. He might grab and use them. So what happened? Arahant Anuruddha didn't know about it. He saw those 3 divine clothing, but actually he didn't see them as divine. He saw the hems of the clothing. He picked up them. He brought them into the temple. Then what happened? Now he wants to make a robe. So this was a very special moment where Buddha and his major arahants, 80 major arahants, especially Arahant Mahakashyapa was with the Buddha at that time before he left the temple into the forest. Arahant Mahakashyapa, Arahant Moggallana, and Venerable Ananda, and all the other monks. So the Buddha wanted to make this robe for him. So everyone was getting ready. Then what happened? They were sitting together. The monks were trying to, spin up the thread, and Buddha threaded the, the thread. And then now they are going to make it. Finally, they were making a very interesting robe for him. Then the Jalini, female deva Jalini, who was the wife of Arahant Anuruddha in a past life, 3 lives backward, and she didn't even stop supporting, and she went to the nearby village, and then she was in certain ways encouraging devotees to go and offer dana. And then what happened? On the following day, Jetarama got lots of dana. When they went for Pindapata, and the devotees also brought lots of dana. Then other monks were thinking, what went wrong? So I think devotees are, we think devotees are wasting a lot of food. Lots of food. Why? They are bringing lots of food because they finished their meals, but there were lots of leftover food. So they were kind of unenlightened monks. Unenlightened monks. They were criticizing about the leftover. Why they made a lot of rose apples, jambu, rose apples, some other food. Then the Buddha said, don't talk like that. All these happen due to Arahant Anuruddha's generosity. So all the devas are very happy. So these food are not normal food brought by devotees. Devotees brought some food, but there were a lot of additions by the devas. That's why we got lots of food here. And at that point, the Buddha said, you don't blame Venerable Arahant Anuruddha because he has exhausted all the asanas. He is not depending on devotees' food. If the devotees bring food, he will eat. If they don't give food, he's okay too. He is not someone like that. This happened due to the influence of Arahant Anuruddha's previous life. And then the Buddha was talking about Jalini, female deva, who was his former wives in a previous life. Now, this story also shows that our sansaric relationships don't stop. Even you became enlightened, they are coming after you. Now, in this life, you may be with somebody. You think that this happened, this is how I met, this is how we started. But they were only conditions. In this life, it was a condition. You said, oh, we dated in the university. That was the condition. But you must have met that person in the previous life. Many, many lives. What happened was that they are coming back. Even the enemies are also coming to us time to time. They are not enemies in this life too. They are long-term enemies, like Devadatta kind of enemies. Devadatta came after 500 lives of the Buddha, right? Enemies also coming after us. The people who loved us also coming after us. So believe that, do well, even in your relationship, do well to the person that you are with. These people might leave us anytime. They might die, they might go away, but their influence and your influence, they are coming after. So Arahant Anuruddha was supported by his wife, former wife, right? So this is one very interesting thing. Another very interesting story about Arahant Anuruddha is, it is said that Arahant Anuruddha has given so much in his previous lives. In one story, it is said, I think before he became a monk, he was in a kind of a game. The game is that if you lose, you have to give sweets to the person that you are losing to. So he was in the game, maybe a sport kind of game. He lost many times, so he sent people to his house to ask mother, please send sweets because I'm losing. I want to, I want to become the winner. Then at a certain point, mother sent a message to him, son, no more sweets. So that's it. And then he sent back a message to mother, please send the no more sweets, no more cakes, no more sweets. Because he had never heard about no in his life. Why is it? He had given a lot of dana. So in this life, you think, if you hear that I don't have anything, that means you have not given enough dana in the previous life. Interesting, right? That's why you hear no food, no money, nothing. Why? You haven't done dana enough in the past life. Anuruddha has given so much dana. So in his last life, he never heard no. What is no? No means something, right? Send it to me. Then mother said again, no means no. Okay, then send that no sweets. Right? So Venerable Anuruddha's story is very interesting. And then what happened? Venerable Anuruddha is said to have lived for 115 years. It is said that he lived even the moment the Buddha passed away. And through the suttas, we find out that, especially Mahagosina Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya, where Buddha had a very big struggle in the temple with other monks, Kosambi temple. Buddha advised other monks, hey, you don't quarrel each other. This is a very minor issue in the washroom. But they did not listen to him. So Buddha left. So when the Buddha left, it is said that he went to Venerable Aniruddha's place too. It is said that Venerable Aniruddha was a very good problem solver. He can solace other people. When something happened, when something happened, he was able to uh, uh, take the role of what do you call that, negotiator. So he was that kind of a person. So the Buddha said Venerable Aniruddha had no dependence on food or anything. So this was the story that we are learning from this. So let us take a look at some of the notes here in short. Freedom begins from reducing asava. Yes, I think we can bring this to our life. If we can really monitor, watch our asavas, kamasava, can see over here, the puasava, the sensual, obsessive sensual pleasures, uh, very strong thoughts to be reborn, and so much wrong views and ignorance-based things. If we can watch these four as they arise, as they stay in our life, I think at least we are finding a way out into the freedom. And you can click on this to find out Sabbasa Sutta. Non-clinging even to legitimate needs. What are the legitimate needs? We saw with regard to Venerable Aniruddha, food, you can take it as money in your way, comfort, security. He was not even depending on these. Sometimes we need some legitimate things, right? Especially in your case as lay people. Do not even depend on them. Rather, you meet those needs. You meet them, but don't depend on them. Because the moment you depend on them, you become slaves to those needs. Buddhism says that you enjoy life without becoming a slave to your enjoyment. Right? Eat well, sleep well, enjoy well, but don't become a slave to any of those experiences. The bigger picture is Noble Eightfold Path, Majjhima Patappada, middle path. Now think about if you take many suttas, the Buddha said even about spending money. The Buddha said, do not overspend money and do not underspend money. What a beautiful idea in today's world. In a chaotic financial world that we are seeing. Overspending is very noted. We know that, right? What is underspending? What did the Buddha mean by underspending? We discussed in many sutta studies. Underspending means?
And when you are required to.
You are not spending the relevant expenses to relevant things. Say, for instance, you are not doing a medical checkup every year. Yeah. You are saying what to check. I'm good. I look good. Tell me, I look good or not? I'm good. What to check? But there are a lot of silent killers that are happening in today's world. And later on, you find out you have a problem. At that point, you pay double, triple, quadruple. But if you had seen yourself, you could have saved that. It's one thing. Learning Dhamma, not learning Dhamma is underspending. Why? When you learn Dhamma, you figure out your life. Right? You figure out your life, what to do. How to see the world, how to see myself, how to see my loved ones, how to see my problems. It's an investment. Right? So there are a lot of things that we have to, there are certain things we have to spend money on. If you don't spend money on, the Buddha said you are underspending. You will spend too much one day. You will compensate for that money. What is the overall idea here? Balance. Don't be a slave to money, but manage your money. When you manage your money, you are in between. You are neither overspending nor underspending. This one small example, right? And if you take any of the examples in your life, over part, you can think but don't overthink or underthink. Overthinking, underthinking. It's like meditation. Don't over meditate. Do not under meditate. Right? Meditate in balance. If you too much meditate, you are over meditating. You'll be in trouble. If you under meditate, if you don't meditate at all, it's also a problem. Over chanting, under chanting. Over prayers, under prayer. That's why we have to find out that perfect balance. But this balance could be depending on your needs. I cannot tell you what is your balance. You have to figure out where I should strike my balance in life. right? So then going back to not depending on even legitimate needs mean let us find out the moments, the opportunities, the places where we become dependent on, where we become slaves on our needs. Arahan, Venerable Anuruddha was never dependent on anyone. But devotees really want to support. Not even devotees, his loved ones, his former wife. But he was not depending on anyone. And then, third one, do good without advertising. What does it mean by here? Venerable Anuruddha never spoke about his needs or his virtues. He lived quietly and let actions speak. Do we advertise our good things time to time? Huh? Because some people are very scared whether their good will go unnoticed. Do a lot of things, but all the good stuff go unnoticed. So I have to share. And then what happened? They overshare. Right. To the point that other people might feel like, what is this? What why you are always sending all this information? Right. So we should know how to share, not to overshare. Right? Even the good stuff. Because we have to respect other people and we have to also continue our Dhamma journey. All the good things. Venerable Anuruddha never advertised about his own virtue, what kind of support he is having from Deva, his loved ones. No, he never did that. He was such a very humble person. Let yourself be simple, not driven by craving, is very interesting. The Venerable Anuruddha's path is said to be untraceable, just like other Arahants, Pacceka Buddhas, Samvasana Buddhas, like birds flying through the sky because it leaves no marks of craving or regret. Think about, by the day you are dying one day, are you trying to leave some imprints? I think in today's world we are talking, can you leave behind some good stuff when you die? Right? Some impressions, good stuff for other people. But normally enlightened peoples are not leaving any trace in that journey. Receive and give without entitlement. Very interesting point. When abundance appeared, when Anuruddha neither demanded it nor claimed ownership or weight. Receive and give without entitlement. What is the point here to talk about entitlement? Do people look for entitlement time to time? When they are looking for help, do they normally think that they are entitled to get your help? Or do some people think that they are entitled to help too? This is something that we have to figure out in our life. To the moment that you are trying to think that way, perhaps you might create some asavas. Avoid comparison, complain about resources. The monks' discomfort arose from comparing the amount of food to the number of monks. So at that point they compared, but they didn't know the important point on why they got a lot of food. It's because of Arahan Anuruddha's previous life. Yes, this was Vimokha, Nibbana. True Dhamma practice often looks ordinary. Whenever Anuruddha appeared unnoticed, even poor, his mind was fully free. Why we would say a little bit poor? Because he didn't get a devotee at that point, right? But he was such a very simple person. He did not ask his fellow monks to go and find a rope. He himself went to find like that. Right. So this is the idea, this is the story and the context, literal meaning of today's stanza. Any questions you got about today? If you have a question, please raise your virtual hand and you can ask.
Bhante, can I ask one question?
Yes, please.
Bhante, when it is said that they did not leave any footsteps or traces, I remember one sutta where Mar can trace the person, but when somebody is Arahant, the Mar cannot reach. Does it also mean in that regard here?
Yeah, that is complementary. The reason why Mara cannot trace is that journey, when the journey is finished, or maybe when they attain Nibbana, Mara cannot trace the karmic footsteps. Now Mara can trace us very easily because one life after one life, right, with karma. So Mara can trace the karma line, but Arahants, they finish their karma line. So he doesn't know what happened to these beings. So it is complementary statement between this truth and the reality.
Thank you, Bhante.
Bhante, can we ask for the notes on the the asava to reduce the
Seven
kamasava?
asavas.
Yeah.
It is already.
Can we have the notes? Where is the notes? Can I find it?
You mean the one that
The
I
notes.
showed?
It's
Yeah,
not.
on the screen it's so clear. I like to have the copy.
Yeah, it is already in
No,
the text.
Bhante.
In the
No,
text.
no,
It's not
it's not there.
not in the phone. Not in
It's
the
not in
phone.
your. No,
It
it's
Not
not.
is.
in your group.
Yes,
No,
Because
I
on the
added them little later. Maybe you didn't see
huh?
them.
Yes,
Huh?
it
Where
wasn't
is it?
in earlier, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah, it was
now.
not early. I added
Yes,
them. I
yes.
was thinking adding this thing into this point will be easier. So I thought it could be easier.
Yes,
it's
easy.
already
What?
inside.
Yes.
It's inside.
You
It's
mean
in
it came in
Pakistan.
later? The notes?
It was.
I
Let
did
me see.
see in
Yeah,
my
it's already
handphone.
inside the Patisota. It's
No,
inside.
maybe I'm going to send that link again here. This is the
It's
link.
not there, lah, Bhante. It's not.
It's not
No.
this link.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Appreciate you
I
put in
just
the phone.
it is. We just open. Yes, it
No,
is.
I think
It's
yeah,
updated.
Dhammapada 93. It is there already. Maybe
It's
you can
only
check.
it's only the picture of that lady and then the
Yeah.
Ah,
That's all.
that's all.
That's
oh,
all.
no. That part is in the stanza page, the first page, the first link, not in the notes. That note. I have given the Sabbasana Sutta's
In the Google
information under
Classroom.
the
Is in the
Google
what
Classroom.
Yeah,
the
in the
verse part.
Google Classroom
Google
notes.
Classroom.
Yes, is the first link.
The classroom Google one that
Yes,
Bhante sent.
that's there actually.
Bhante sent yesterday.
Because I
think
didn't
Bhante
want to give
updated.
there because then too much information. Because this here exactly you can cross check the Pali one. There's some more information. All right. Any more questions you got
Yeah,
about?
yeah. It's in the Google one. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you,
Because
Bhante.
I printed from the WhatsApp one. The
Oh,
WhatsApp.
you printed already. Okay. Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you,
It's in the
Bhante.
Google one. Thank you.
Yes.
Bhante, I have a question in the chat.
Yes, please.
In the chat.
In the chat. Okay. Let me see. Venerable Anuruddha is said to have psychic. Yes, I think I did not mention that part. He is the foremost monk among the psychic powers. We call Dibbachaku. He could see thousand verses, but he couldn't see the clothes were left by his former wife. That's a very interesting observation. I think it doesn't mean that he his power is inferior than what he got as a designation. What we need to know here is that when it comes to personal life, these designations are not very much reflective about the personal life. Now think about the Buddha. If Buddha knows everything, why did he go to get thrown by the Devadatta? Simple question. Why? Some of the karmas cannot be very much visible even to the Buddha, right? But as a skill, it's a very much larger, broader area. It's like there is a very good academic person who knows everything in his life, but there may be simple areas, gray areas he or she might not know, right? So, Venerable Anuruddha could see thousand worlds for different reasons. But with regard to his rope, maybe he didn't want to see it. He was very humble person. He didn't want to see everything like that. And he did not even recognize Jalini, right? Yes.
Or maybe Bhante,
So there are certain things like that. Yes, Polly?
Jalini deliberately hid herself, hid the clothes, or hid any signs that is a divine material, or she made the effort.
Can you request again? I didn't hear the first part.
Maybe Bhante, Jalini made the effort to hide the robes and hide that, it was of divine quality.
Yes, yes.
It
Actually,
could-
she did not bring the ropes. She brought the clothes.
Mm.
She brought the clothes only. Three pieces
Three
of
pieces.
divine clothes. That's what later on died by other monks. Yes, because the problem is that Venerable Anuruddha didn't want to accept something from her. Perhaps. Perhaps he wanted to go, maybe he wanted to help devotees. I think if you learn about Venerable Mahakashyapa, there are a lot of moments. There was a female deva called Laja. Every morning she comes to his temple and then sweeps the floor. Then one day, Venerable Mahakashyapa thought this is not a human, very perfect sweeping. And there's no anything like a human can make a mistake in the compound. Then he said, never ever come to my temple and sweep the floor, sweep the compound. So perhaps the point in that story also, you are destroying the devotee's opportunities because that day you are already good. So if a devotee could come, she could or he could make some good karma, but you done it already. Even sometimes Sakka wanted to give food to Venerable Mahakashyapa. Then he didn't want to accept. Right? He wanted to let it be done by devotees. I think in this case also, Venerable Anuruddha wanted to leave it for a poor person. Right? Poor person or that way. Maybe that is why he went on that way. Simplicity, minimalism, humbleness, all that are included in this. Not that they have power, why don't they use the powers? Huh? We have the problem. We have powers, why don't we use them? So, yes. All right. I think in this case, then we are going to transfer the good karmas. So at the end of our OPRC class, online power reading class, what we are doing is we are transferring good karmas and we are sharing good karmas and we are making the wish and then we are finishing at that point. First, we are going to transfer all the good karmas to departed ones who passed away in the name of all of us. May departed ones who passed away in the name of all of us receive all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idang me nyati nang huntu sukita huntu nyatayo. Idang me nyati nang huntu sukita huntu nyatayo. Idang me nyati nang huntu Sukita huntu nyatayo. May Deva, Naga, Mahidika receive all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of us, all of you, including your family members, for good health, quality of life, prosperity, safety, happiness. May Deva, Naga, Mahidika finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavata cha amhehi sambhatam punya sampadam Sabe deva anumodantu sabbasang pattisiddhya ittavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabe bhuta anumodantu sabbasang pattisiddhya ittavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabe satta anumodantu sabbasang pattisiddhya Akasattha Chibumattha Devanaga Mahidika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakhang Tusasanang Akasattha Chibumattha Devanaga Mahidika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakhang Tudisanang Akasattha Chibumattha Devanaga Mahidika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakhang Tumang Parang Chirang Rakhang Tutang Sadati. Next is our Dhamma, which, as I mentioned earlier, we are always wishing that maybe be always surrounded with Kalyana Mittras, especially 2026, we just started. Maybe be surrounded by Kalyana Mittras who have more Saddha, Sila, Chaga, Panya than us. And at the same time, without being selfish about that thinking, maybe also become Kalyana Mittras to so many sentient beings we meet in our life till we attain Nibbana. With this noble wish, let us recite. Imina punya kamina mami bala samaganu satang samaganu hontu yava nibbana patya. Finally, blessings. May all the good karmas we be making today by learning about asava, ahara, nature of nibbana, nature of arahants in overall understanding. May all these Dhamma teachings continue to reflect our life, daily life, your life. And finally, may they support and help us to attain supreme bliss of nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silissa nichang vaddha pracha chattaru dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanno sukhang balan ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati samicchatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. With those blessings, wishing you a pleasant good night. Till we see you again on Thursday, next Thursday at the same time. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu,
Sadhu, sadhu,
Good night,
sadhu,
everyone.
sadhu.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you,
Sadhu,
everyone.
sadhu,
Thank you,
sadhu.
Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank you,
Thank you,
Bhante.
Bhante.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu,
Sadhu,
sadhu, and good night. Take care, everybody.
Good night, Bhante. Thank you, Sadhu. Good night.
Thank you, Bhante.
Good night, Bhante. Good night. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Bhante.
you.
Good night,
Everyone,
everyone.
have a night, Bhante.
Bye.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Sadhu.
Good night, Bhante.
Good night.
I managed to join today.
Great.
Yeah.